She Wouldn't Take Off Her Boots is a new monument that stands in LeBauer Park as a place of remembrance and reflection. It is also a place for education, to spark conversation, and to ignite change. And a documentary tells the story of its making.
It was summer of 2020, and Victoria called me in and she said, I've got this great idea and I need to raise a lot of money to do this.
Both women are artists, Jenny in TV and film, Victoria on canvas and sculpture.
The idea for the video was purely to raise money, and it was just something that she could show when she went to foundations or she went to donors to say, this is the project I want to do.
Victoria Milstein had created a small sculpture, a maquette, that she dreamed would become a life-size memorial monument to women of the Holocaust. Friends and neighbors understood her vision and donated. Then the city of Greensboro and even the state threw their support behind the project. And the video?
The video was such a huge success that people said, can you do a full-length documentary?
Kaiser was on board, but she needed a team to help. Enter Hazen's Productions.
We're all about it. I mean, love doing anything with the community, you know.
What followed was more than 2 years following Milstein as she molded the final moments of 5 women's lives into an enduring tribute.
I saw this picture of these women right before they were going to be brutally murdered, and I could not comprehend their strength, the way they looked straight at us in the camera. And as I read and realized that they were being photographed by a Nazi photographer, then I came to my mind, I'm going to do a sculpture of this because I want people to see them through their eyes, not through this Nazi soldier.
Milstein hoped by sharing this moment in time, the monument would honor all the girls and women whose lives were lost or forever changed by the Holocaust. Stories Kaiser had been hearing since she was a little girl.
I'm Jewish. Growing up in the 70s and 80s and early 90s, you were surrounded by Holocaust survivors. It was not unusual to go to synagogue and to see somebody with a number tattoo, and you knew what that number tattoo meant. It wasn't unusual to talk to your friends and say, oh, I'm going to my grandparents' house or I'm going to my great aunt's house for dinner, and them say, I don't have a great aunt. You know, everybody died.
So the documentary team talked with them, as many as they could, having them share their stories on camera so they wouldn't be forgotten and so others could learn.
One of the most impactful ones was one of the guys we interviewed, and he's like 14 years old, you know, standing in line, and you get to the desk and the Nazi soldier, you know, asks your age, and if you're 17, you go this way and you go to a concentration camp, and if you're under 17, you go this way and you get shot and thrown in a ditch. And you don't know it, and they're just standing in line, and this kid's 14 years old, you know, 14, like, holy crap, you know, and he's like, a soldier came up to him and said, how old are you? And he was like, I'm 14. He goes, no, you're 17. And he gets to line, and it's just that split-second decision that saved his life.
I hope that people in the city that watch the film and that go to the monument realize that Holocaust survivors are all around us, that you're in the grocery store and a Holocaust survivor is walking right next to you, that your kids go to school with the grandchildren or great-grandchildren of Holocaust survivors, that this isn't something that happened way over in Europe, that it didn't really impact us. It impacts us.
She Wouldn't Take Off Her Boots will be used as part of the Holocaust education curriculum in North Carolina, and the documentary will air on PBS.
I'm excited for it to get out, you know, and for people to see it and people to hear these stories. I mean, it's just wild. I mean, it's unbelievable. You know, it's truly unbelievable. And for somebody who doesn't know an awful lot about it, you know, like myself, to hear these stories and learn about, you know, more in depth of what it really was and just how unbelievable it was, I think there's something there.
A crew of about 15 brings these stories to life, intertwined with the creation of the monument that honors their legacy.
To hear their stories and then turn off the camera, say goodbye to the interviewee, and then turn around and see the faces of the crew was just huge. The impact on the crew, that meant so much to me.
She Wouldn't Take Off Her Boots will premiere in Greensboro at the Carolina Theater on June 27th. Find out more about the monument and the project by going to womenoftheshoahjp.org.